This podcast was produced by OAR FM Dunedin with support from New Zealand On Air.
Welcome to 5 Continents in 50 Minutes, a podcast series based on the continents of the world as symbolised in the 5 Olympic rings. I'm that blind woman, Julie Woods, and alongside me is my husband and artist, Ron Esplin. Hello, Ron.
Bonjour, Julie.
Oh, gosh, that's very attractive. Together, we are going to cover the facts, figures and favourites of these continents in 5 10-minute podcasts. This is podcast 3, and continent 3, you might have already guessed, is
Europe.
Ron, what is the illustration you have painted of Europe, please?
Well, an iconic view of the gondolas in Venice and the Santa Maria church in the background. So that's, of course, epitomises Venice to me. It's all those wonderful
the Grand
canals.
Yeah. And I'd have to say that you've painted many paintings of Italy. It's a favourite place of yours to paint. What can you tell us about Europe?
Well, the population's 750 million. Just think of that. And an ageing population made up of 44 countries. The largest one by geography is Russia. The largest population is also Russia with 144 million. And Germany is the next largest population at 83 million, followed by UK, France and Italy. The amazing landmarks, we've just spoken about one of them, the Venice and the beautiful canals and the gondolas. The wonderful places to see around Europe, picking out a few. Big Ben in the UK, of course, so lovely to hear that when you first arrive. No one else takes a bit of notice, but there it goes, and you hear it when the news comes on in the morning. The Colosseum in Italy, the Acropolis in Greece, so many wonderful memories, and the Sagrada Familia that's not finished yet in Spain, still going. The countries we visited in Europe were Russia, Germany, United Kingdom, France, Italy, Spain, Poland, Netherlands, Belgium, Greece, Czechia, Hungary, Sweden, Austria, Denmark, Finland, Slovakia, Norway, Ireland, Croatia, Bosnia, and Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, Monaco and Vatican City. Well, that's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful. Okay, out of all of those, what's your fave?
Well, my fave is the Greek islands, actually, because I actually asked my father where he thought the best place to go, if I had one place to go, and he said the Greek islands. So it's been a place that I've been to a few times now, thanks to his administrations. Mykonos and Naxos were the ones that I really enjoyed the most. There's a lot of history there as well.
And beauty, which is what would attract the artist's eye. For me, my favourite country was Italy. And before I went to Italy, I kept getting annoyed at people that went on about Italy. And I thought, why do people go on about Italy? And then when I got there, I realised why they go on about it, because it's got everything. It's got the food, it's got the architecture, it's got the art, it's got the people, it's got the history. Just an astonishing place. What was your best meal in Europe, Ron?
Well, you probably know I'm not that much of a fan of pizza, but goodness me, it was pizza. And it was lovely. And we had it in Venice, of course. What better place to have your pizza?
Interestingly enough, it was because we had a singing waiter. That's what you liked about that pizza.
Yeah, it was great. All right. Yeah.
My best meal was in Dubrovnik, Croatia, and we sat in an alley restaurant and had a meal of fried fish, which I remember was just beautiful. What a wonderful setting. What about your worst meal in Europe?
Well, that was in Lithuania. They're very, very unimaginative in the food department. And, of course, potatoes are everywhere, as much as they are in Lithuania, or a bit more than. and they offered up potato dumplings. You can almost you can feel the magic of potato dumplings. Well, eat them and you'll taste the magic of potato dumplings.
And we did a very rare thing. I don't think we ate all our meal, which when you travel, everybody knows is a real sin, because to get food in front of you is a triumph. So sorry about that, Lithuania. Maybe we have to go back and give it another go. My worst meal, ironically, is in the City Hall in Paris, where we were there for a very fancy dinner for Louis Braille's 200th birthday, and there was the deputy mayor of Paris, and there were tables laden with glasses and fancy plates and things, but I didn't know what I was eating, and it sort of felt like duck poo and tasted a bit similar. It was just so totally different that I couldn't get my head around what it was. So that was rather unusual. What about your best drink in Europe, Ron?
Well, here we go again. If you're in Belgium, you're able to get the most beautiful Belgian beer.
Of course.
And it makes me sound like a heavy beer drinker, but these are not beers as you would normally think. They are really marvellous. And you don't have to drink more than the bottle.
If the cap fits, wear it.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
And I would go with cheap bottle of Red Plonk in Paris, which we drank at the foot of the Eiffel Tower.
Just before looking at the sign that said no drinking in the Champs-Élysées.
Well, it was in French and I'm blind, so I'm sticking with that. What do you think is Europe's best kept secret?
Well, I think the best kept secret is Dubrovnik in Croatia. It surprised me really because there are so many iconic places around the world, but Dubrovnik is a beautiful city. And of course it's sad because they'd had the war not very long ago, and there are actually quite a lot of places where you can see bullet holes in the walls. But it's over now, and they're getting back into the tourist business.
I remember touching those bullet holes in Mostar, one of the villages that we went to. For me, the best kept secret of Europe is the Kon-Tiki Museum in Oslo, Norway, which houses the artefacts from the adventurer Thor Heyerdahl, when in the 1940s he took an expedition to sail from South America to the Pacific Islands on a balsa wood raft. And he took 4 or 5 other people with him, and he was the first person to sail from South America to the Pacific Islands on a balsa wood raft. Who on earth else would do it? But it was just such a moving story and adventure, and I know we were both in tears at the end of it, Ron. I could thoroughly recommend it as an experience for people. What's your scariest moment in Europe?
Well, when I was in Scotland, I was a bit more budget careful, and I took a tent around, and we were in. We used to wait until quite late before pitching the tent and then going to bed. And in this case, we couldn't see anything around, but I found a brick wall and managed to put the tent up. And we had a lovely, lovely sleep until we were woken in the morning by the sound of a distant train. And it got closer and closer and closer. And then next minute, it was almost on top of us.
Oh, my goodness.
And I skedaddled out of that tent to see the departing end of the train as it was heading away towards London. And I realised then that we had pitched the tent only feet away from the railway line, which we didn't know was there.
You've been listening to 5 Continents in 50 Minutes with that blind woman Julie Woods and Ron Esplin. If you'd like to contact Julie, that's me, you can do so, Julie at thatblindwoman.co.nz or Ron at ronesplinartist@gmail.com. This is podcast 3 of 5, and I'm so glad you survived that adventure on, because you'll be able to join us for the next one, podcast 4. So, arrivederci.
Arrivederci. There certainly will be more.
I'm that blind woman, Julie Woods, proud sponsor of Around the World in 80 Minutes. After going blind in 1997, I said why not so many times. I am now a professional speaker, author, advocate and coach. If you're looking for someone to help you or your team turn your no into why not, then why not send me an email to julie@thatblindwoman.co.nz or phone or call me on 021 913 513. Why not?
This podcast was produced by OAR FM Dunedin with support from New Zealand On the Air.